What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Cars Tech. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new 2022 Volkswagen Tiguan and 5 of its awesome tech systems. Now, if you guys have not seen my full review and my 2 hidden features videos on the 2022 Volkswagen Tiguan, head on over to the Bachmann Volkswagen channel and check out those videos. I'll have them linked down below. But without further ado, let's hop into number 1. Now, number 1 is connectivity. The Volkswagen is packed with modern connectivity features. Not only do you have things like a 12-volt outlet here in the front, the second row, and all the way in the trunk as well, but you have modern ports like 2 USB-C ports in the front, 1 USB-C port in the back, and a Qi-enabled wireless charging pad right here for Qi-enabled wireless charging devices like the iPhone 13 Pro Max right here. You can just slap that right on that pad and it will charge right up. That paired with the wireless Apple CarPlay that you get access to on this infotainment system, can't beat it. But seeing as all these devices nowadays are moving to the USB-C standard, it's so much nicer to not have to get those little, A to C conversion cables and things like that. Just being able to have like a Lightning to USB-C, which all the new iPhones come with, or a USB-C to USB-C on a lot of Android devices, having the flexibility of just a one-to-one connection there is awesome. Now let's move on to number 2, and that is the Volkswagen Digital Cockpit. Now, we are looking at the SEL R line here, so this is the top trim level that you can get. But Volkswagen's done an interesting thing. I think maybe a little bit for good, a little bit for bad. Now, let's start with the good. The good is that you now have a Volkswagen Digital Cockpit on every single Tiguan model. The bad is that they've divided into 2 different versions. You now have the Volkswagen Digital Cockpit and the Volkswagen Digital Cockpit Pro. The Pro one is the one we've seen on all previous Volkswagen models up until this point. It's the more tech-packed one, the more, feature-rich one. The new one, the new non-Pro one, is kind of just a stripped-down, kind of looks like an old, like Honda-looking digital cockpit. Not a big fan of it, to be honest, and it just doesn't have the same functionality that you get on the Pro. So if you are able to afford going up to a higher trim level to get the Pro display, highly recommend it. Fully customizable, different looks and gauge clusters to choose from. You can have little ambient lighting accents and things like that that make a nice impact on it. You can also do full screen navigation right here, turn-by-turn directions, all on this display. It gives you your speed, it gives you your safety systems, you can do your adaptive cruise control, you can do your travel assist, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So much great functionality on this beautiful high-res display from Volkswagen. And let's talk about that travel assist. So number 3 is the assist systems. This vehicle is absolutely packed with safety systems. Let me read you this little list here. Again, we are talking about the top trim level here, so this has all of them, but this is Volkswagen's IQ Drive safety suite here. So travel assist, which is a semi-autonomous driving assistant, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, lane assist with lane keeping, emergency assist, which is semi-automated vehicle assistance in a medical emergency, front assist with forward collision warning with autonomous emergency braking and pedestrian monitoring, active side assist, which is blind zone alert, rear traffic alert as well. You have a light assist with high beam control, adaptive front lighting system, poor weather lighting, hill hold control, and a hill descent control as well. You have a surround view camera system and your standard rear vision camera as well. So just a ton of super premium safety features on a $38,000 SUV right here from Volkswagen. But my favorite feature by far of all of these is the travel assist. This takes full advantage of the adaptive cruise control with stop and go and the lane keeping assist system to keep you in the center of the lane. All you gotta do is kind of periodically keep your hands on the wheel. It'll warn you if you don't. You definitely wanna keep your hands on the wheel, but you could do, one hand on either side, things like that. Just let it know you're still there and paying attention. But it will keep you in the center of the lane and keep you a preset distance away from the vehicle in front of you. Let's check it out.
Yeah, well, it keeps me in the lines here. You can see it kind of pull me back over. It does a good job of very effectively centering, I think, which not all these systems do. You can see it's not really like drifting too much. It kind of just keeps me in the center, which is all you really can ask for. But it's like definitely tugging on the steering wheel, like you can feel it. And you can see it better if I take my hands off. So this car's coming to a complete stop here. So as this car kind of speeds up and slows down, it's keeping me a good distance away still.
So I absolutely love these semi-autonomous driving systems. Half the time it works better than like Tesla's full self-driving. It's not quite to that level yet, but the fact that you can get this on a $38,000 vehicle with all the other technology that this thing has packed in, it really pushes the boundaries on what these budget SUVs can do. I've also made a video on the 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe that has a fantastic kind of similar system, highway drive assist. If you're into semi-autonomous driving systems, definitely check out that video as well. I'll have it linked down below. All right, for number 4, let's talk about these touch capacitive buttons. We talked about the modern connectivity with the USB-C ports and the Qi-enabled wireless charging pad. Well, continuing in that same vein of more modern, implementations of traditional things, you have these touch capacitive buttons on the steering wheel and as the climate control system controls. So if you're unfamiliar, touch capacitive is just, you're not actually physically pushing anything. It is a haptic engine that is giving you feedback like you're pushing something when in reality it's just a solid piece of plastic. So you have these solid pieces of plastic here on these sides of the steering wheel. You have these little glowing indicators of your different buttons, and when you push them, it's going to give you a little vibrating feedback, but it's not actually moving at all. So if you were to turn the vehicle off and push these, it just feels like you're pushing a hard piece of plastic. Similar to like, an Apple trackpad or an iPhone, things like that. Tons of different devices have these kind of haptic motors. It also works with sliding, so you can slide back and forth to change volume, change stations, things like that. Switch through your different menus on your digital display here. Lots of cool functionality, very modern implementation. Some people are gonna like it, some people are gonna hate it. I tend to lean towards the camp of liking it. But you also have a similar type of system without the feedback down here on the climate control. So these aren't really touch capacitive, they're more just touch sensitive, I think. But you have a slide for controlling your fan speed here and a slide for controlling your temperature. And then you can push these buttons to enable things like your ventilated seats, your heated seats, your defroster, and then where your air is coming out. All right, finally for number 5, let's talk about this infotainment display here. Now I'm not gonna cover the more common things like radio, Bluetooth. You do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have navigation like I talked about. I wanna talk about the surround view camera system because that is by far my favorite system. And we're not even gonna talk about the hands-free control of the system that you can do, which I have not found a good implementation for, but exists nonetheless. We're gonna talk about this camera system. So if we push this button down here, we're going to get access to your 360-degree camera system, your surround view camera system from Volkswagen. So this gives you access to all 4 of your different camera views, your front, your 2 sides, and then your back view as well. You can see a 360-degree view around your vehicle and a 3D rendering of your car here, but you can also tap each of the different camera views and see the different camera specifically. You have left side, right side, and then both sides, and then you can switch to like the back camera, see a standard one, and you can use your park pilot as well, which will help you park in parallel and perpendicular parking situations, which is nice if you do struggle in that way. But having all these different views to help you park and navigate difficult, driving situations, this can come in super handy. My only real complaint about this system is that still the camera systems are pretty low res for 2022. I'd love to see Volkswagen take a big step up when it comes to their camera quality in future models. You don't notice it as much on the smaller 8-inch displays here on the Tiguan, but if you go up to something like the ID4 that has a big 10-inch screen, you can really start to see that grain inside of the camera system. So I think Volkswagen needs to take a big step up in their camera quality. Hopefully they do that in future models. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this edition of Cars Tech on the 2022 Volkswagen Tiguan. If you did, drop a like on the video. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite system, or is there another tech system in the Tiguan that you love? Let's have a conversation down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be one of the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.